Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Good morning everyone. In this opportunity, I would like to practice my essay about the contribution of chemical engineering to the plantation industry for SDGs 2030. Before that, let me introduce myself. My name is Siti Nur Qori'ah. My major is chemical engineering. My identification number is 190104. Hope you enjoy in this podcast. The contribution of chemical engineering to the plantation industry for SDGs 2030. In this modern era, the world has some problems. One of them such as environmental problems which is still widely discussed. In its development, each country is currently discussing ways to solve this problem. The United Nations or UN Conference on Sustainable Development is a forum to discuss ways to solve world problems, which was attended by 193 countries to reach a sustainable development agreement. The conference on 21 October 2015 obtained an agreement with 17 sustainable development goals concerning several world problems, one of which is about the goals aims to foster eco-friendly production and boost recycling. Indonesia is one of the countries that has realized this commitment and is taking part in SDGs 2030. Indonesia has various industry sectors, one of which is the industrial in the plantation sector. The plantation industry in Indonesia has grown relative increase in last 10 years. This shows from the graph of the calculation of the state statistical agency, which total plantation industry in Indonesia is 2,391 sector industry. Despite a lot of the plantation industry sector makes Indonesia need more innovation to be applied to resolve environmental problems towards the SDGs 2030. It has been also regulated in the regulation the Ministry of Industry through Renstra, Indonesia Plan Strategy 2015 until 2019, refers to the law of the Republic Indonesia number 3 of 2014 concerning the National Long-Term Development Plan and Presidential Regulation of the Republic of Indonesia number 28 of 2008 concerning national industry policy. Focus on the spirit and quiet of industry increase added value in the country through sustainable management of industry resource and increase to competitive and productive of the national industry. Indonesia has quite a lot of plantation industry units. This can make it rich its innovation of terms of industry and waste treatment. The 2 points must be done in balance because so as not to cause environmental problems in land, air, and water ecosystem. Example of a process in the production of industry plantation are sugar processing or palm oil processing. Of the 2,391 exciting plantation industry units, there are 97 sugar processing industry units and 2,601 palm oil processing industry units. The problem that can be innovated is the processing of waste from the production of sugar and palm oil, because the processing in the production process will produce liquid, solid, and gas waste. In this case, I'm Siti Nur Qori'ah as student who is currently studying at the Polytechnic LPP Yogyakarta with a more specific field with the chemical engineering specific study program in the field of plantation. I am confident I can provide new innovation that can solve the insect problem in the plantation industry. After literacy is done, what I read from the source sawindonesia.com that an effective technology for processing palm oil waste is POME. POME management technology generally use open pond technology, which consists an anaerobic, facultative, and aerobic ponds with total retention time of around 19 until 120 days. This open pond technology required a large area, 5 until 7 hectare, large maintenance costs and produce methane gas emission into the air. For processing waste from the sugar industry, for example, such a big gas, which not only has a negative impact on the environment but also has a positive impact. This can be done by innovating by recycling bagasse as pulps, and then it can be used as paper. In my opinion, these two innovations are not enough reach SDGs 2030 so that we can look for new breakthrough to manage industry plantation waste processing. With that, my contribution is saving SDGs 2030 is to create an innovation that can have positive impact on the environmental so that problem in the world can be resolved. In my opinion, the innovation that can be done in overcoming this problem is to make a product by doing research first. So what we make can be controlled by the waste it will create. Besides that, as chemical engineering people, we can find solution to every problem that exists. From several articles, there have been many that have researched several good waste treatment process so that they can minimize environmental pollution. It can be applied if there are deficiencies in the study. It can be reviewed to cover the shortcomings. The explanation of some of this innovation as chemical engineering in the plantation sector will further optimize the waste treatment process in the plantation industry sector, which is in order to realize SDGs 2030. In my opinion, if the optimization of waste treatment innovation is carried out properly, it will be able to achieve one of the 17 goals of the contest SDGs 2030. So that 2030, the exciting environment on Earth can be controlled and problems can be resolved little by little. Realizing the SDGs requires cooperation between each individual because the implementation of innovation, if not supported by fellow individuals, will not achieve the original goal, namely SDGs 2030. As far as I know enough for in this podcast, thank you for listening. If there's any mistake, I hope that after you listen to this podcast, you can contribute to realizing SDGs 2030. See you next time. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.